Have you ever met someone who felt like they already knew you, even before you said a word? Someone who said your name and you had no idea how they knew it. In today's story, we'll meet Emma, a quiet woman whose ordinary evening walk turned into something she would remember forever. This story will help you practice English listening and speaking while you follow a story full of emotion, mystery, and connection. So relax, listen carefully, and stay with me. Because when a stranger knows your name, it's never just a coincidence. Let's begin. My name is Emma, and for most of my life, I liked quiet things. The sound of rain, soft music, and reading before bed. I lived alone in a small apartment near the river. It wasn't big or fancy, but it was mine. Every evening after dinner, I liked to take a walk, just around the neighborhood. It helped me clear my mind after a long day at work. I'd walk past the bakery, the little park, and the old bridge that crossed the water. That night, the air was cool and calm. The sky was a soft purple, and the streetlights had just started to glow. Everything felt peaceful, until it didn't. As I passed under the old bridge, I heard something. A voice. Soft, calm, but clear. It said, "Emma." I stopped. My heart jumped. I turned around, but there was no one there. Just the sound of the river moving slowly beneath the bridge. I told myself it was my imagination, maybe the wind, or someone calling another person, so I kept walking. But then I heard it again. Emma. This time, it was closer. When I turned, I saw a man standing a few meters away. He looked around 50, maybe older. Gray hair, kind eyes, a long dark coat. He wasn't scary, just calm. But something about him felt strange, like I had seen him somewhere before. "Excuse me," I said carefully. "Do I know you?" He smiled softly. "Not yet," he said, "but I know you." I took a step back, confused. "You know me?" He nodded. "Your name is Emma, you live near the river, you love books, and you used to sit on the bridge when you were young, thinking about your future." My breath caught in my chest. No one knew that, not even my closest friends. That was something I used to do when I was 16, dreaming about life. "Who are you?" I asked quietly. He looked at me for a long moment. "I'm someone who promised your mother I would find you." My mother had passed away 5 years earlier. I hadn't spoken to anyone from her past in years. "Did you know her?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Yes," he said, "a long time ago, before you were born." He reached into his coat pocket and took out something small. A silver locket. I recognized it immediately. It was my mother's. She used to wear it every day. I felt tears in my eyes. "Where did you get that?" "He gave it to me," he said softly, "and told me that one day, when the time was right, I should give it to you." He opened the locket and handed it to me. Inside was a tiny piece of folded paper, yellow with age. I opened it carefully. It was my mother's handwriting. "My dearest Emma, if you are reading this, it means you have grown into the woman I always knew you would be. Strong, kind, and brave. There are people in this world who will appear when you least expect them, not to change your life, but to remind you of who you are. When that happens, don't be afraid. Listen, love, and remember that I am always with you." I couldn't stop crying. I sat on the stone wall near the bridge, holding the locket to my chest. I asked him again, "Who are you really?" He smiled, a soft, almost side smile. "I was your mother's friend. We met when we were both young, working in the same library in another town. She once helped me through a very hard time in my life. When she became sick, she asked me to find you someday and give you this. But why now? Why after all these years? Because I finally found the strength to do it. She told me that when you looked ready, When you looked at peace with your life, that's when you'd need this message most. We sat together for a while, not saying much. The river made soft sounds below us, and the moonlight touched the water. After some time, he stood up and said, "I should go now, Emma. Take care of yourself." "Wait," I said. "Will I see you again?" He paused, looking at me with kind eyes. "Maybe," he said, "but even if you don't, remember, your mother's love is never far away." And just like that, he walked away, across the bridge, into the fog. When I looked again, he was gone. The next morning, I went to the park near the bridge. The air was fresh and everything looked the same, but I felt different. I held the locket in my hand as I sat on a bench. For the first time in years, I didn't feel alone. I felt connected. Not just to my mother, but to something larger. Like all the small moments in life were finally fitting together. A week later, I was walking home when I saw a man sitting near the same spot under the bridge. He looked like the stranger, but younger. When he saw me, he smiled, nodded, and then walked away without a word. For a moment, I thought maybe I imagined everything. But when I touched the locket around my neck, I knew. Some things in life don't need to be explained to be real. Every evening now, I still take my walk. The bridge no longer feels cold or lonely. Sometimes, when the wind is quiet, I almost hear my name again. Not with fear, but with warmth. Because now I know some people enter our lives not to stay forever, but to remind us that love never disappears. It only changes form. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it and want to keep learning English through emotional and meaningful stories, please subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Your support helps me share more stories like this, simple, beautiful, and full of heart.